There are wounds that don't come from a breakup itself, but from our own minds refusing to let go of someone who is already left. Many people believe that time heals everything, and yet, months or even years later, they still feel haunted by regret, longing, and an invisible weight that never seems to lift. They replay moments in their heads, cling to what-ifs, and quietly wonder, why can't I just be happy again? The truth is this: happiness does not come from holding on to the past. It comes from shifting our focus back to ourselves and releasing the grip on what we cannot control. That is where Stoicism, an ancient yet timeless philosophy, steps in. Stoicism doesn't teach us to be emotionless, but rather to face our emotions with honesty, neither running from them nor letting them rule us. In this journey, I will share with you 10 Stoic principles that can help you rise after heartbreak, regain your strength, and find peace within yourself. But before we begin, I invite you to leave a comment below. Let go to live. It's a small affirmation, but by writing it, you're making a conscious decision to start moving forward. Now, let's begin with rule number 1. Rule 1. Accept what's out of your hands. There's a silent pain that lingers longer than heartbreak itself. The ache of wanting to change something or someone that simply isn't within your power. Think about it. How many sleepless nights have you spent replaying old conversations, wishing you had said something differently or done something more to change the outcome? This restless urge to rewrite the past is a trap. It's like trying to push against a locked door that was never meant to open. Imagine this scenario. You keep checking your phone, hoping for a message from someone who once meant everything to you. Maybe it's a partner who drifted away, or a friend whose warmth faded over time. You finally muster the courage to send them a heartfelt message, pouring out your emotions. And yet the reply never comes. Silence greets you instead. Every passing minute feels heavier, filling your mind with doubt. Did I do something wrong? Should I try harder? Am I not enough? This spiral of self-blame is both exhausting and destructive. And here's the gentle but powerful truth. What you seek from others is not always in their hands to give, nor is it in your hands to demand. The only true control you have lies within yourself, your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. The more you try to control what is uncontrollable, the more you surrender your peace. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic emperors, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." How often do we give away our inner peace to people or circumstances beyond our reach? We let silence determine our worth. We let rejection define our future. But the moment you recognize the boundary between what is yours to control and what is not, you reclaim your power. This acceptance is not weakness, it's freedom. It takes courage to admit that some things, especially the hearts of others, are beyond your influence. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about choosing peace over endless struggle. When you release the illusion of control, something shifts. You begin to focus inward, asking yourself, what can I do for me right now? How can I nurture my own heart, regardless of who stays or leaves? That is where healing begins. Rule 2. Stop romanticizing what hurt you. The human mind is strange. After heartbreak, it doesn't always remember reality. It remembers the highlights. It replays the golden moments, the laughter, the little gestures that once made your heart feel alive. Think about it. When you reminisce about a past relationship, do you notice how your mind filters out the loneliness, the long silences, the painful words? Instead, it paints everything in glowing colors, like a movie you don't want to stop watching. This isn't memory, it's illusion. It's your mind trying to comfort itself by holding on to the most beautiful fragments while ignoring the painful truth. Take Luke's story, for example. After his breakup, he could only recall the butterflies of the first dates, the whispered "I love yous," and the adventures that made him feel cherished. Yet behind those golden memories were darker shadows, nights when he sat waiting for a reply that never came, days filled with cold silences, and moments of hurtful distance. For every memory that made his heart ache with longing, There was another he chose to forget. And when he finally faced those truths honestly, he realized something important. He wasn't missing the relationship, he was missing the dream he created in his mind. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. Our suffering doesn't come from the past itself. It comes from the way we choose to interpret it. We cling to the illusion of perfection and suffer because reality doesn't match the story we've rewritten in our imagination. So here's the Stoic approach. Practice brutal honesty. See both sides of the story, the joy and the pain, the love and the loneliness. Only then can you stop glorifying what actually broke you. This isn't about becoming bitter. It's about clarity. It's about giving yourself the respect of facing reality head on. When you stop romanticizing what hurt you, you finally free yourself to move forward. Rule 3. Create distance to regain clarity. Even after we've accepted what's out of our hands and stopped idealizing the past, healing can remain difficult, especially when reminders are everywhere. Let's be honest, many of us sabotage our own healing by keeping the past within arm's reach. We scroll through their social media. We reread old conversations. We look for digital signs that maybe, just maybe, they still think about us. But here's the truth. Every time you check, every time you revisit, you are choosing to keep your wounds open. Creating distance is not about coldness or denial. It's about courage. It's about giving your heart the breathing room it needs to heal. Just as fog only clears when the air is still, clarity only comes when you step back and create silence. Distance allows perspective. It gives you space to remember who you are outside of that relationship, that person, or that pain. It reminds you that your life story doesn't end where someone else walked away. Yes, unfollowing, deleting, or cutting ties might feel harsh at first, but think about the relief that comes when you finally take that step. A sudden lightness fills the space where pain once lived. And in that space, something new can grow: peace, confidence, self-love. This isn't about pretending you never cared. It's about choosing your well-being over unnecessary suffering. It's about reclaiming your mental space and letting yourself breathe again. Distance is not the end, it's the beginning. It's the first step toward clarity, healing, and the strength to build a new life. We have uncovered 3 powerful truths. Accept what's beyond your control. Stop romanticizing what hurt you, and create distance to regain clarity. These are the foundations of healing, the first steps to reclaiming your peace after heartbreak. Now we move deeper. The next Stoic lessons will not only strengthen your heart, but also sharpen your mind. They will teach you how to master your emotions, redefine the way you see love, and break free from the dangerous belief that pain equals connection. Rule 4. Master your reactions, not your emotions. A common misconception about Stoicism is that it tells us to suppress emotions. But that isn't true. Stoicism doesn't say don't feel, it says don't be ruled. Let's face it, heartbreak unleashes emotions like a storm. Anger, sadness, jealousy, fear. One moment you're fine, and the next you're crying in a grocery store because a song on the radio reminded you of them. These waves can feel uncontrollable. And the truth is, they are. You cannot stop emotions from arising, but you can decide how you respond to them. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Imagine 2 people experiencing the same breakup. One spirals into destructive behaviors, constant texting, drinking to numb the pain, or jumping into unhealthy rebounds. The other feels the same emotions, grief, longing, anger, but chooses to respond with patience, reflection, and healthier coping strategies. The difference isn't in the heartbreak itself. It's in the reaction. Here's a simple Stoic practice. When emotions rise, pause. Don't react immediately. Instead, ask yourself, is this reaction serving me or hurting me? Will I regret this tomorrow? Is this aligned with the person I want to become? That small pause gives you back your power. You may not be able to stop the storm, but you can learn to sail through it without sinking. Over time, this discipline transforms you into someone unshakable, not because you don't feel, but because you refuse to be enslaved by feelings. Rule 5. Redefine love as partnership, not possession. One of the deepest pains of heartbreak comes from the illusion of ownership. We tell ourselves, they were mine, my person, my forever. And when they leave, it feels like theft, like something was stolen from us. But here's a hard Stoic truth. No person belongs to us. Not their love, not their presence, not their attention. Love is not possession, it's partnership. It's not about clinging, but about sharing. Seneca once wrote, "He who begins to love should be prepared to suffer." But this doesn't mean love is misery. It means love, by its very nature, involves risk, the risk of change, loss, or endings. When we love, we step into a fragile space where nothing is guaranteed. Think of love like a garden. You don't own the flowers, they bloom in their own time, in their own way. All you can do is nurture, water, and appreciate them while they're there. If a flower withers, you don't curse it for dying. You understand it was part of the natural cycle. When we redefine love as partnership, heartbreak shifts. Instead of thinking, they were mine, and I lost them, you began to see it as we walked together for a time, and now our paths diverge. This doesn't erase the pain, but it frees you from the illusion that you lost something you owned. You didn't, you shared. And sharing, even if temporary, is a gift. Rule 6. Don't mistake pain for connection. Here's a dangerous trap many fall into after heartbreak, confusing intensity with intimacy. Think about it. Why do people sometimes miss toxic relationships more than healthy ones? Why do they crave the drama, the chaos, the highs and lows? Because pain, when mixed with passion, can feel like connection. Your brain gets addicted to the roller coaster. The arguments followed by apologies. The silence broken by sudden affection. The push and pull creates a cycle where suffering feels like proof of love. But it isn't. It's proof of entanglement, not connection. A Stoic lens helps you separate the two. True connection is calm, steady, and respectful. It doesn't need chaos to feel alive. Epictetus would remind us that suffering isn't noble when it comes from clinging to something harmful. Real strength isn't enduring pain, it's walking away from it. If you find yourself missing someone who hurt you, pause and ask, do I miss the person, or do I miss the intensity? Do I miss love, or do I miss the adrenaline of chaos? When you see clearly, you stop mistaking pain for passion. And that clarity is what sets you free, bringing rules 4 to 6 together. Let's recap these 3 Stoic principles. 4. Master your reactions, not your emotions. 5. Redefine love as partnership, not possession. 6. Don't mistake pain for connection. Together, they create a powerful framework. You stop letting emotions enslave you. You release the illusion of ownership, and you untangle passion from chaos. These steps don't just heal heartbreak, they reshape how you approach every future relationship. Reminder for you, if these lessons are resonating with you, take a moment right now to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's a small action, but it helps this message reach more people who need it. And it keeps you connected to more Stoic wisdom that can transform your healing journey. So go ahead, pause, click like, subscribe, and then come back. Stay with me. Your healing isn't just possible, it's inevitable if you choose it. We've already uncovered 6 powerful Stoic principles for healing. 1. Accept what's out of your control. 2. Stop romanticizing what hurt you. 3. Create distance to regain clarity. 4. Master your reactions, not your emotions. 5. Redefine love as partnership, not possession. 6. Don't mistake pain for connection. Each step brings you closer to emotional freedom. But healing isn't only about letting go of someone else, it's also about rediscovering yourself. Heartbreak leaves a hole, and the temptation is to try to fill it with distractions, rebounds, or endless what-ifs. But the Stoics would argue that heartbreak, if faced wisely, isn't just an ending. It's an opening. The next two rules focus on who you're becoming and protect. Your peace is sacred will show you how to rebuild from the inside out. Rule 7. Focus on who you're becoming, not what you've lost. Heartbreak narrows your vision. All you can see is what slipped through your fingers, the person, the moment, the future you imagined. Your mind replays memories like a broken record. You think, if only I had done this differently, maybe they'd still be here. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, do not waste what remains of your life and thoughts about others when you do not turn your thoughts to some purpose. In other words, the past is gone. The future is uncertain. But this moment, this is where your power lies. When you shift focus from what you've lost to who you're becoming, heartbreak transforms from destruction into rebirth. Think of it like a forest fire. Yes, it burns down the old trees. But in that clearing, new life has the space to grow. Practical Stoic reflection. Ask yourself, who do I want to be 1 year from now? Write it down. Be specific. Stronger? Wiser? More peaceful? Then ask, how can this heartbreak serve that transformation? Maybe it teaches you patience. Maybe it forces you to face insecurities you've avoided. Maybe it strengthens your boundaries. This doesn't mean minimizing your pain. It means reassigning it. Pain becomes your teacher, not your jailer. Here's a short exercise. Take 10 minutes today, sit with a journal, and write this prompt. Because of this heartbreak, I am becoming. Fill in the blank. Don't hold back. Write in the present tense as if it's already happening. When you consistently focus on who you're becoming, you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? That shift is liberation. Rule 8. Protect your peace as sacred. One of the greatest gifts heartbreak can give you is clarity about what truly matters, your peace. When you're in love, it's easy to compromise your inner calm. You tolerate things you shouldn't. You silence your own needs. You chase validation instead of listening to your own wisdom. But after heartbreak, you have an opportunity to reclaim something far more valuable than a relationship, your peace. The Stoics believed peace of mind ataraxia was the highest form of wealth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do. Only what you do. Protecting your peace means learning to say no to toxic people, to unhealthy habits, to thoughts that poison your spirit. It means setting boundaries that guard your energy like a fortress. Think of your peace as a sacred temple. Not everyone gets to walk in. Not every thought deserves to linger there. Not every memory deserves an altar. Here's a practical, Stoic practice. Whenever you feel disturbed, whether by memories of your ex, by anger, or by loneliness, ask yourself, is this thought building my peace or breaking it? If it's breaking it, you have permission to let it go. You don't need to entertain every thought your mind throws at you. You can choose. Protecting your peace also means being intentional about what you allow into your daily life, what you watch, who you talk to, what habits you nurture. Every choice is either feeding your turmoil or your tranquility. When you begin to see your peace as sacred, you stop begging for love that costs you your sanity. You stop bargaining for attention that drains your spirit. You understand that true healing is not getting someone back, it's getting yourself back. Bringing rules 7 to 8 together. Let's pause and bring these two lessons together. 7. Focus on who you're becoming, not what you've lost. 8. Protect your peace as sacred. One is about vision, the forward-looking perspective that turns heartbreak into growth. The other is about defense, the boundaries that guard the new self you're building. Together, they ensure that heartbreak doesn't just leave you wounded. It leaves you transformed. Engagement prompt. Let me ask you something. What's one way you've been protecting your peace after heartbreak? Maybe you started journaling. Maybe you cut off toxic communication. Maybe you just started walking in nature more. Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to see how you're guarding your peace, and your story might inspire someone else who's struggling. And if this video is resonating with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps spread these Stoic lessons to more people who need them. We've journeyed through 8. Stoic rules, so far principles that help you reclaim your power after heartbreak. You've learned to accept what you can't control. Stop romanticizing the past. Create distance. Master your reactions. Redefine love. Separate pain from connection. Focus on who you're becoming. And protect your peace. But two critical steps remain. Without them, heartbreak lingers. With them, you find true closure not from someone else, but from within. Let's finish this journey with the final two Stoic principles. Rule 9. Stop waiting for closure from others. One of the hardest parts of heartbreak is the obsession with answers. You replay the breakup in your mind. Why did they leave? Was I not enough? Did they ever really love me? What are they doing now? You think that if they just explained, if they gave you closure, then you'd finally be able to move on. But here's the harsh truth. Waiting for closure from someone else is like waiting for rain in a desert. It keeps you thirsty. The Stoics would remind us, closure is not something you're given, it's something you create. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply this here. If their actions showed you who they are, believe them. Don't demand more words to validate what you already see. Sometimes silence is closure. Sometimes distance is the answer. Practical exercise. Write a letter to your ex, not to send, but for yourself. Say everything you wish you could. Pour out the questions, the anger, the longing. Then write a second letter back, as if you were them. Be honest. Be blunt. Say the things you know you'll never hear, but that your heart needs to accept. When you finish, tear them up or burn them. Symbolically release the expectation of closure. The act itself reminds you. You don't need their permission to heal. You don't need their explanation to move forward. You can give yourself closure. Rule 10. Choose freedom over illusion. This final principle is the essence of Stoic healing. Freedom. What is freedom in the context of heartbreak? It's the ability to stand on your own, unshaken by the illusions that keep you chained to the past. Illusion says, they were the only one for me. Freedom says, I was whole before them, and I remain whole now. Illusion says, I can't be happy without them. Freedom says, my happiness comes from within, not from someone else's presence. Illusion says, maybe if I wait, they'll come back. Freedom says, I release them, and I release myself. My life is moving forward. Epictetus taught, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Think about it. The person who broke your heart, their choices, their new life, those are outside your control. But your freedom, that's yours to claim right now. Choosing freedom doesn't mean forgetting them overnight. It means refusing to live as a prisoner of memories, fantasies, or regrets. It means embracing reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Here's a Stoic reflection. Ask yourself, what illusions am I still clinging to? And what would freedom look like if I released them? Write down the answers. Then take one small step toward that freedom today. Bringing it all together, let's gather all 10 Stoic principles. 1. Accept what's out of your control. 2. Stop romanticizing what hurt you. 3. Create distance to regain clarity. 4. Master your reactions, not your emotions. 5. Redefine love as partnership, not possession. 6. Don't mistake pain for connection. 7. Focus on who you're becoming, not what you've lost. 8. Protect your peace as sacred. 9. Stop waiting for closure from others. 10. Choose freedom over illusion. Together they form a complete path, from grief to growth, from lost to liberation. Heartbreak is never easy, but with Stoic wisdom, you don't just survive it, you transcend it. You emerge stronger, calmer, and freer than before. Final call to action. If you've made it this far, you're not just watching, you're transforming. So take a moment to reflect. Which of these 10 Stoic principles spoke to you the most? Comment below. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if this journey has been valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who's hurting, and subscribe to the channel so you can continue learning how Stoicism can guide you through life's toughest challenges. Your healing is not just possible, it's happening. Every day you choose wisdom over illusion, you reclaim your power. So remember this. Heartbreak may have shaken you, but it doesn't define you. Who you become next, that's your legacy. Stay strong, stay peaceful, and above all, stay free.